back with our class, the last class of biology. The in-text questions which we have to do. How do Mendel's experiments show that traits may be dominant or recessive? 147 page number. I don't know in your book which page number. 147 only? Okay. So the first question is, how do Mendel's experiments show that traits may be dominant or recessive? Which cross you will write? Monohybrid cross. Barkonbody please. Right. Mendel crossed a pure tall pea plant. Mendel crossed a pure tall pea plant. T capital. Pure tall pea plant with a pure dwarf pea plant. TT. And observed that the progeny was hybrid tall. Hybrid tall under this TT. That the progeny was hybrid tall. That is, only one of the trait was able to express. Only one of the trait was able to express itself in the F1 generation. Express itself in the F1 generation, which is called the dominant trait. Which is called the dominant trait. Next point, the other trait called the recessive trait remains suppressed. Called the recessive trait remains suppressed. Fine. After that you will again do the same thing. Full cross multiply. This is what generation? Parent generation. Then it undergoes reduction division to form T. This to form T. So the F1 generation is what? The F1 generation is what? Hybrid tall. Okay. Till Bariri reduction division. And that right. In F1 generation, all plants are tall. In F1 generation, all plants are tall. Which means tallness is a dominant character. Which means tallness is a dominant trait. And dwarfness is a recessive trait. Tallness is a dominant trait and dwarfness is a recessive trait. When the plants of F1 generation, next point, when the plants of F1 generation are allowed to self-cross, when the plants of F1 generation are allowed to self-cross, we get F2 generation using 1x square. We get F2 generation using 1x square. So again, what will you do? TD into TD. Then gamete formation ಮಾಡಿ 1x square ಅಲ್ಲಿ Thus, the phenotypic monohybrid ratio is what? 3:1, and the genotypic monohybrid ratio is 1:2:1. Thus, the phenotypic monohybrid ratio is 3:1 and the genotypic monohybrid ratio is 1:2:1. Understood? This is the answer for the first question. Now, second question. How do Mendel's experiments show that traits are inherited independently? Which cross? Dihybrid cross. Okay. So, ಇದನ್ನ ಮನೇಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಬಟ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಬರ್ಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬರೀ ಫುಲ್ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ, ಡೈಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಬಿಡಿ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಬರೀ. Thus the dihybrid ratio is, ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ರು, ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Thus the dihybrid ratio is 9 ಎಷ್ಟು 9:3:3:1. Thus the dihybrid ratio is 9:3:3:1, which shows that the two characteristics R and Y. What is R? Round. What is Y? Yellow. Okay, or you can write, we actually took what? Round and green. So R and Y are not linked to each other, and are independently inherited. Okay, now the question of blood groups. Although I have given in the notes everything about blood groups, I will explain it to you. This will not generally come blood groups, because blood groups is completely a different thing. But because it is given as a question, we need to explain blood groups. So, who is the person who gave us the blood group? Carl Landsteiner. And notes allige idina artha madkolli. Carl Landsteiner was the person who told that humans have 4 kinds of blood groups. What are the 4 kinds of blood groups we have? A, B, AB and O. Okay? So we have what kind of blood group? 4 kinds of blood group: A, B, AB and O. Landsteiner, all this is written with L's subscript. The some school teacher may teach something like this also, because your blood groups are not written the way I have written. But for your understanding, as it is not a major chunk of your chapter, we have written like that. But actually, yavaglu subscript L tagondu subscript na A na capital baritivi, because to indicate and to honor Karl Landsteiner. Fine. Now, which is called as our universal donor? O is called as universal donor. And AB is called as universal recipient. AB can take blood from all and AB can take blood from all and O can give blood to all the people. Okay, but when you would have heard anyone talking about blood groups, you will generally find they will say, I am AB positive, I am A positive, I am O negative, I am O positive. So where does this positive and negative come from? It all comes from the presence of a protein which is called as rhesus protein. It comes with the presence of a protein which is called as rhesus protein. Rhesus is also a type of monkey. So if the protein which is present in the monkey is present in you, then you are Rh positive. If you do not have that protein, then you are Rh negative. Rh comes from where? Rhesus. Fine? So we have how many types of blood group? 4 types of blood group: A, B, AB and O. Correct? If it is A, it may be AA and AO. If it is B, it is BB and BO. If it is AB, it is AB, and if it is O, it is OO. OO is called universal donor, as it can give blood to everybody, and AB is called as universal recipient. Fine. If the protein which is present in the monkey is present in us, we are said to be Rh positive. If it is not present, then it is called as what? Rh negative. Now, what is the question asked? A man with blood group A marries a woman with blood group O, and their daughters have blood group O. Is this information enough to tell you which of the traits, blood group A or O, is dominant? Why or why not? Answer bari, I will explain one thing. The information is insufficient to tell whether the trait A or O is dominant. Fine? Right, first point. Let us assume that trait A is dominant. Let us assume trait A is dominant. The father has blood group AA and mother has blood group OO. Father has blood group AA and mother has blood group OO. Then 50% of the progeny will have blood group A and 50% of the progeny will have blood group O. Blood group is A. But if I say that the father is not AA, but he is what? AO, then immediately what will happen? 50% will have blood group A and 50% will have what? Blood group O. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ? ಇದನ್ನು ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಬಟ್ ನಾ ಬರ್ಸಿರೋದು ಎ ಎ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾನು ನೋಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ದ ಫಾದರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಎ ಓ and mother has AA. Then E cross ಮಾಡಿ. ಮಾಡಾಯ್ತಾ? ನಾವು ಬರೀರಿ. If the father has blood group AA, if the father has blood group AA and mother has OO, all the progeny will have blood group A. The first cross ಮಾಡಿ. Then ಬರೀರಿ. If we assume that O is dominant, if we assume that O is dominant, then the child may have blood group O. The child may have blood group O. Since in all these assumptions the blood or the child can have blood group O, since in all these assumptions the child can have blood group O, we cannot conclude which trait is dominant. We cannot conclude which trait is dominant. ಬರ್ದಿರೋದು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. We said here it has to be what? 50% A and 50% O. But now let us reverse the situation and let us think O is dominant. So here also I will have blood group O. Here also I will have blood group O. So I do not know whether A is dominant or O is dominant. Okay. Next question. How is the sex of the child being determined? XXXY. Same thing which will be there in the notes you have to write. Then what is there by next? Come to the exercise questions. I think I told you 11th question is important, so please write. How is equal genetic contribution of male and female parents ensured in progeny? 11th answer bariri is very important. Please write. The male and female reproductive cells, the male and female reproductive cells divide by reduction division divide by reduction division to form haploid gametes. To form haploid gametes. These gametes have equal genetic material. These gametes have equal genetic material. Next point, Baridi. The zygote is formed. The zygote is formed by the fusion of male and female gametes. The zygote is formed by the fusion of male and female gametes that is, it has equal contribution from both parents as they contribute equal content of chromosomes. As they contribute equal content of chromosome. Next point, the individual is developed. The individual is developed from the zygote thereafter. From the zygote thereafter. Please write here father, mother. 23 pair of chromosomes. Here also 23 pair of chromosomes. Undergo what division? Meiosis. Forms 23 chromosomes and 23 chromosomes. When the zygote is formed, you again get what? 23 pair of chromosomes. Equal contribution, 23 pairs. This is father, this is mother. So when you have reduction division, you only have 23 chromosomes. Equal content. Okay? And then this will again become what? 23 pairs of chromosomes. I have taught you like this. Somebody else can even teach you like this. We see here 2n number of chromosomes, 2n number of chromosomes. On reduction it will become n and n. And finally it will again become what? 2n number of chromosomes. This is also correct. This is also correct. Okay. Now furthermore is what? I think okay. Seventh one, which does not generally come but still. Outline a project which aims to find the dominant coat color in dogs. Please write. Seventh question, Baridi. Let us cross a black male dog with a white female dog. In the F1 generation, all the dogs are black. With which indicates that the black color coat is dominant over white color in dogs. Fine. So, ಈಗ next ಏನು? We have to make. Let us make, because dominant color is black ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ BB, capital BB, let it be black. Or black color coat in dog. Small BB, let it be what? White color coat in dogs. Full ಬರೀತೀನಿ, ನಾ black white ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. So, when I cross black color male dog with white color female dog, reduction division takes place. Is right. Reduction division takes place. And in the F1 generation, all dogs are black. So, black is dominant over white. So, black is dominant over white. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರೀರಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. If all the offsprings in F1 generation were white, if all the offsprings in F1 generation were white, then white would be dominant over black. Then white would be dominant over black. Because we really do not know which color is dominant in dogs. Okay? Now the fourth question. A study found that children with light colored eyes are likely to have parents with light colored eyes. On this basis, can we say anything about whether the light eye color of trait is dominant or recessive? Answer bari. We cannot make any influence inference ನೋಡಿ. Okay, ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. We cannot make any inference ಬರೀರಿ, any result. We cannot make any inference whether light colored eye or light eye color, whether light eye color trait is dominant or recessive. Because if both parents have light color eyes, the children will have light color eyes. The children will have light colors eyes with some variation. With some variation. First one I told the answer yesterday, no? See, That first question, did I tell the answer yesterday? C. Okay, so this finishes our entire bio part. I don't think we have left any questions. Because only till sex determination they have not given anything further. But if they teach something extra in your schools, please let me know. We will do the needful. Okay, and next class we will start with, next class which we will have on Monday, we will start with what? Magnetic effect of current. Okay, and I may even send some worksheet, not today or tomorrow, but on Monday, to chapter by chapter, which you have to write, because it contains all COTS questions and exemplar questions. Slowly and slowly we will give time for each chapter, and that chapter's worksheet you have to solve and submit for correction. Okay? Yeah. Thank you.